think honestly the best thing has been talking to some of the other, some of your other clients, and so speaking to them, understand how they might use the software a little bit, hearing kind of their, some of the case studies that have happened, and really kind of, I guess, understanding from them a little bit more how they use it, whether they use the billing payment reminders and maybe how they're tweaking that a little bit according to their own needs and stuff. So I think that's probably the most beneficial. I think, from a macro level, I think it's going to continue to expand. I think I think you have to really look at it on a local basis, right? I mean, healthcare is always local, so I think if you're talking about, Salt Lake, where you are from, compared to, Texas or Florida, where some of these other markets might be a little bit more saturated, at least from a growth in number of clinics, I think you might find a different answer, because I think there are some markets across the nation that probably are getting saturated. I mean, I think that's the one drawback I'd say from this industry is that there's essentially no barriers to entry, right? And that's kind of the one, I guess, fear that kind of keeps me up in the middle of the night is that really the only barrier essentially is capital, right? It's unlike hospitals that need a certificate of need or a CON to open up. Anybody can go open up an urgent care if you have the capital to do it. So that's kind of the one thing that I worry about a little bit, but that's why I think location is so important, and kind of picking a location that's pretty defensive, so that even if you have somebody else that comes in behind you or after you down the street, if you have a location that's really good, it should be able to kind of help position them. How can you kind of leverage technology, right? So I think the software you guys offer can be very helpful, not only from on the payment reminder from a collection standpoint, but also just from a patient engagement standpoint, and even kind of plays into some of the patient loyalty that we talked about today in the conference. I think all those things, I think the good operators are going to be the ones that kind of figure out how to leverage those different technologies kind of going forward.